Okay, chapter 6-3. Tonight's homework is practice B, 39 through 49 odd, and 57 through 63 odd. Clearly they are odd problems, so where are the answers? In the back of the book. In the back of the book. I expect you to check them, and I expect your work to match the answers. Do we all understand that? Okay, don't be silly and thinking that, okay, since they're odds, I mean, you can get the answer out of the book, but you don't have to worry about getting the correct work. I need your brain to understand this. Tomorrow you're having a quick quiz over chapter 6-3. There are 5 questions over it. You need to make sure you need to understand when to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and how to find all those things. You with me? We good on that? Quick quiz tomorrow. It's paper quiz. You need to make sure you show all your work, and you need to put letter A, B, and C, and D on the line, whichever one it is. Any questions over what I just said? Excellent. We all wrote it down? Tonight's homework assignment? 39 to 49. Okay, I'm going to do some evens for you. You only have 10 problems tonight for homework, so I'm not going to do a lot of them with you. I'm going to show you how to do the other ones, the odds. Okay, problem number 38. The square root of 72 plus the square root of 32 plus the square root of 18. No, we cannot add them because I have to make sure that I break down the square root of 72. Now I'm going to make this very clear to you guys. Divide by 2, 3, or 5.
3.
Look for numbers that are perfect squares. So if I take 72 and divide it by 2 since it's even, what does that give me? 36. Is 36 a perfect square? It sure is. So what we're going to have going on here is going to be 36 times 2 plus 32 is even. So divide it by 2. What does that give you?
16.
16. Is 16 a perfect square?
Yes.
Yes. 18 divided by 2 is even.
9.
9. Is 9 a perfect square?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So now, what is 36 the square root of that?
6.
6. That comes out as a 6. That's 6 square roots of 2. What is the square root of 16? 4. So that gives me 4 square root of 2. Plus, what's the square root of 9? 3. So that's 3 square roots of 2. Now, my question is are the radicals all the same?
Yes, they are.
Yes. Are the indexes all the same? Yes. So I can add the jump on the outside if it is like terms. So 6 plus 4 plus 3 gives you 13 square roots of 2. Do we understand that problem?
Yes.
Make sense?
Sure.
Perfection. Moving right along. 46. Write it down for me. Now, how are these two binomials attached? Multiplication. So when you have two binomials attached to multiplication, what do you think you should do? You should FOIL. They're already in their factor form, so you want to FOIL them together. Do we understand that? So what I want you to do is I want you to put on missing numbers. Missing number on the outside of my square roots of 1. Missing number on the outside of the square roots of 1. Missing number on the outside of the square roots of 1. And we have a number in front of the last one, which is 7. Why am I making you put those numbers there? So that you understand that it's there. What are you going to multiply together?
The outside.
The outside numbers get multiplied together, and then what else? The inside gets multiplied together. So I'm going to have 1 times 1, which is 1. Square root of y times the square root of y is y squared. Do we see that? Yes or no? Go to the next one. 1 times 7 is minus 7. Square root of y times square root of 2 gives me square root of 2y. Does everybody understand where those two values came from? Okay, going on and distributing the next one. 1 times 1 gives me a 1. And then I'm going to have square root of 2 times the square root of y, which is going to be square root of 2y. Go to the next one. Subtract. 1 times 7 is square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4. Do we all see that? Yes or no? Okay, now let's go ahead and reduce our square roots. So what is the square root of y squared? Y. So 1 times y is y square root. And there's nothing there. It's just y. Sorry. Minus 7 square root of 2y plus 1 square root of 2y minus, what's the square root of 4? 2. 2 times 7 is? 14. Do I have any like terms in there? I do have like terms because more importantly, this is the square root, and it is going to be 2y and 2y as my radicand. So what can I do with the numbers on the outside? What's negative 7 plus 1? Negative 6. So I have y minus 6 square root of 2y minus 14. None of those are like terms, so we're done.
Is there if I change the word? Like
You may change the order any way you want as long as the sign to the left of the numbers go with it. That 6 has to remain negative, this 14 has to remain negative no matter where you put it. Okay? Let's right along. 56. Write it down, please. Okay, what's ugly? The division's ugly. So we know in our head we have to do a conjugate, right? Okay, but before we get to the conjugate, we need to simplify the radicals. Square root of 27 completely simplified. No, it is not. So let's divide it by 2. Is it possible to take 27 divided by 2? No. Is it possible to divide it by 3? Yes. What is 27 divided by 3? 9. Is 9 a perfect square? Yes, it is. So I'm going to have 9 times 3 going on here. 2 minus 3 times 9 minus times 3. Can I cancel those out? No. Head and body. Wherever this 4 goes, it has to go with that square root of 27. Wherever this 2 goes, negative 3 times the square root of 27 have to go with it. So you cannot cancel those out. Just because you want to, don't do it. Right here. We can take the square root of 9. And what is the square root of 9? 3. So what I actually have is 4 plus 3 square roots of 3 over, take the square root of 9, that's 3. Give me 2 minus 3 times 3 is square roots of 3. Do we all understand that? Wait.
Well, wouldn't you be able to divide it by 2, however you like to?
Nope. This 4, you can separate these, but that's not going to help you because that 4 is going to be over that whole denominator. So we got to get rid of that ugly denominator, right? So how do I get rid of the ugly denominator? I'm going to multiply this by the conjugate. The conjugate of the denominator is what?
2 plus 9.
2 plus 9 square roots of 3 over 2 plus 9 square roots of 3. So, put a few parentheses around everything as binomials. And what do you think I need to do there?
Well,
I need to FOIL that, right? So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 4 times 9 is 36 square roots of 3. Can we see that? Go to the next one. 3 times 2 is 6. Tack on the square root of 3. 3 times 9 is 27. Now, multiply the radicals. 3 times 3 gives you 9. All over. When you multiply conjugates together, what's the trick?
multiply the first and the last.
Multiply the first and the last terms only because the inner and outer will always do what? They will always cancel. Okay? So I'm going to have 2 times 2, which gives me 4, minus 9 times 9 is
81.
81. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9. Okay, so now what do I do, folks? I need to simplify that numerator as much as I possibly can. So how do I go about doing that?
Well, that's square root of 9. Square root of
The square root of 9 becomes a 3, right? So what is, this is going to give me 8 plus, are these like terms in the middle? These are like terms. So what's that going to give me? 42 times the square root of 3. And what's 27 times 3?
81.
81. All over, what's the square root of 9? 3. So what's 4 minus 81 times 3 is? 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So 243. Now, what is 8 plus 81? 89 plus 42 square roots of 3 over, what's 4 minus 243?
239.
Negative 239. So, with that said, what do I do next? I need to check to see if anything reduces. So I need to look at this, this, and this. And I need to find out if I can divide them and reduce them. And in this case, that is not going to be an option. So this is my answer. Okay? Do we all understand that?
Question number 24, it says X up there, X at the bottom. Why can't I?
See how it had to be on the outside?
Do one like number 14 or have one.
But I can't. All right, do we understand this problem? Okay, I'm going to do problem 49 for you. Problem 49. What do you notice about those two things right there? They are conjugates. You're absolutely right. Good job. Since they're conjugates, what do we notice about conjugates? We can FOIL them, and we only have the first and the last terms because inner and outer always cancel out. So I have the square root of that jump, so I have the square root of that jump. Well, is the jump the same underneath there? Are the radicals the same? They're both a plus 1. So how many a plus 1s will I have then? I'll have 2 of them. Do you see the parentheses that I put around the a plus 1 and I squared it? Now I'm going to do the last. Minus, that's going to be the square root of, what's my radicals there? How many of them do I have? I have 2 of them. So again, I put parentheses with that squared concept there. What happens to your power of your root? Those cancel out. I'm left with a plus 1 minus. Those cancel out. Parenthesis a minus 1. Why am I having parentheses around the a minus 1? Because I have 2 terms there, not just 1. I am subtracting the quantity of a minus 1, not not the term a. Do we all understand that? So if I distribute that, that's going to give you the a plus the 1 minus a plus 1. And if I simplify, what does that give me?
2.
My a's cancel out, and I'm left with the value 2. Do we understand that, yes or no? This is also a homework problem, so this is problem 63. The directions say rationalize the denominators and simplify. Rationalize the denominators and simplify. What am I dividing by? A monomial meaning 1 term, or a binomial meaning 2 terms? I'm dividing by a monomial. When you divide by a monomial, do you have to multiply by its conjugate? Conjugate is a fancy word. When do we use it? You have 2 terms. When you have 2 terms, meaning when you're dividing by a binomial, I'm dividing by 1 term, which is a monomial. So I need to multiply by something. How many x's do I have in there currently?
1.
1. How many x's do I need to have in there to pull it out? I need a total of 4 x's. So what do I multiply by? 3x. The 4th root of x cubed over the 4th root of x cubed. Do we all see that, yes or no?
What was the equation for this? How was it the circles?
Okay, so I'm going to put parentheses around this top. Why am I putting parentheses around this first numerator? Because there are 2 terms, and it's a binomial, so therefore I have to distribute that into both of those terms. So if I do that, I'm going to put a 1 in front of here. Why am I putting that 1 in front? Because I want you to marry the stuff that is outside of it, and then marry the radicals on the inside. Do we understand that? Yes. So I have 5 times 1, which gives me 5 times the 4th root of x cubed, plus, over here, are my indexes the same? Yeah. Since my indexes are the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry the jump underneath the radical. So what does that radical now come up with? X to the first and x cubed give me x to the 4th. Do we all see that? How many x's do I have at the bottom total now? 4. So I'm going to have the 4th root of x to the 4th. And now I need to simplify some jump, right? Can I take the 5 times the 4th root of x cubed and do anything with it? No. No, what's the 4th root of x to the 4th? This becomes an x. What's this down here become? An x. So I'm going to have x plus the 5 times the 4th root of x cubed over x. You're done. I cannot cancel these x's out, can I? Okay? In order for me to cancel an x out, I have to look at all 3 of these terms, and all 3 of those terms have to have something in common. Only the 2 terms, the first term on the top and the bottom, have something in common. This 5 does not have an x attached to it, so I cannot cancel those out. Do we all see that? Are we good? Why are you grinning at me? Who's grinning? Z, what's up?
You just call it B.
It's just I lose focus.
Okay, are we good on this? All right. I was going to give you guys and show you guys how to do this problem with the decimals. You will not have one like that on there. I think it will confuse you, so I'm not going to show you. I did it first period, but I think you guys are getting it, so I don't want to throw something more on top of you. Thank you.
Can you do a problem like that?
How about I just do 14 off the homework? So this is 14 off the worksheet last night.
Yeah.
So this is the square root of 2 plus the square root of 7 quantity squared. It says squared educate.
Oh, that's what it is.
Then I have to write that down 2 times. So I have the square root of 2 plus the square root of 7 times the square root of 2 plus the square root of 7. Now what did I do whenever I did these problems before? What did I put in front? Fully. 1. I put the phantom 1 there. There's a 1 in all of these. Do we see that? The phantom 1 is there. Okay? If you can't see it in your head, you know that it's there, you need to put it there. Okay? So I have 1 times 1, that's going to give me a 1. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 7 gives me 14. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 7 is 49. What's the square root of 4? 2. So 2 times 1 gives me 2. How many of these square roots of 14 do I have? 1 plus 1 gives me 2. 2 square roots of 14. And what is the square root of 49? 7 times 1 gives me 7. Do I have any other like terms? 2 and 7 give me 9 plus 2 square roots of 14. Does that make sense? Are we all good now? Are we ready for a quiz tomorrow? I've done 2 of your homework problems tonight. How many of you have, since you only have 10?
8.
You have 8 left to do. Do you think you can handle 8 problems tonight?
Yeah.
The rest of the time is yours. Please work. Tomorrow, what are we doing? Tomorrow is Friday. I will not be here. Tomorrow, you are going to be doing your missing assignments, and you're going to be doing any quick quizzes you have. Or I should say, the quick quiz over section 16. Okay?
PBS, yeah.
Okay, I won't be here tomorrow. Since I'm not going to be here tomorrow, I don't care who my sub is. You better only have a pulse in this class. You will do your test, quiz, that's it. Quiz tomorrow. And you'll do your missing assignments. No talking, no getting out of your seat, no writing on my board, doing nothing but breathing and your math. Am I clear on all of that? If that does not take place and I come back tomorrow on Monday, to anybody's name written down, the whole entire class will be writing sentences for not keeping your classmate in check. In addition to that, the person who has their name written on the paper will be sitting in ISS doing more sentences on top of that. Am I clear on all of that?
Yes.
Crystal clear? Okay. Excellent.